Hello, welcome back. So we're going to do a little update video just to kind of show you what we decided. But just before we show you where we are now, oh, there's light out there. Where could it be? Where could it be? So yes, I just wanted to address a few things that came up at the last video. First of all, thank you for all the comments. We were overwhelmed, and every comment was valuable, even those that were probably giving us some hard truths in some ways, and everybody's really interested in one thing that it highlighted is there's no easy conversation about Brexit. And that's the only thing to be sure of about Brexit is that every conversation about it is going to be difficult. And there's lots of interesting comments on our last video if you want to check them out. I really enjoyed reading them, and one thing I do want to say is our last video wasn't designed to be a massive Brexit dig. As if I could understand, or we could understand the complexities of Brexit. We were just saying that it impacted us at that moment, and it still does. It still impacts us and the travelling community in general. We're not saying it's a terrible thing, we're not saying it's an amazing thing. But there was certainly some interesting conversations, so click down below if you want to look at that video or go and read the comments, because it was really cool. But thank you, so many good ideas about what we should do. People are right when they said maybe we could have been more planned. We could have applied for French residency. We could have done that ages ago, and we talk about it. Mel spoke to me about that many times, and I was just procrastinating, and I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't really want to be that, if that meant we had to stay there or what. So we could have done other things, definitely. We're not denying that. But the decision that we have made is so yes, we decided to come back to the UK. Some of you are going to hate us for that, because so many people were like, go to Croatia, it's not even a decision. And some people were like, stay in France, Schengen doesn't matter, no one cares at the minute. Some people were saying you will be executed if you disobey Schengen rules. It was really interesting how different people's opinions on it, and I don't think any of us really know. We can't say, oh, if you stay, it will be completely fine, or you should go because you're going to get in mega trouble. So we've played it safe. We've come home. We don't feel sad about it. We've loved coming back to the UK. Apart from, I will say, I forgot how bad the M20 is. The roads on the M20 are shocking. After getting off the expensive but amazing French roads, and then you drive on the M20, felt like we were driving into Mordor or something. It was like, the road surface is awful. Sort it out, government. So for those of you that are interested, this is the procedure that we had to get through and our experience getting home. So we are having a bit of a game now. We are in Ornans. We've parked here for the night, and we're trying to get our COVID tests. And trying to find where to get and the right one is difficult. We've just been to a pharmacy and they only offer the antigen, and we don't know. The government guidelines are so vague. They tell you loads of specific scientific mumbo jumbo, and you're meant to, like, it says you're responsible for having the right test, and then it gives you like loads of parts per million per litre of certain accuracy that the test must be. How are you going to possibly know that? So we've just found a laboratory which do the PCR test, so we go in there, but they don't speak a lot of English, and we don't speak the best French or even the medium French. So we're going to go there now and kind of see if that's a better test for us and how quick we can get the results. That's quite important because of Brexit, and we've got to leave. So yeah, it's interesting. So we are hoping we've had a result. We went into the laboratoire and we've got our test booked for tomorrow, which is brilliant. It's the earliest we could get them, and they don't give you the results that quick, which is not great. So you do the test and then you wait, and then that evening you should find out the results, and you kind of set up an account and they get emailed to you. But because we haven't got that much time, we can't wait here. So we're going to have our test in the morning. It's going to mean that our travel is kind of being condensed to near the end of the deadline, which is a bit scary. We basically got 2.5 days left now. But we'll have our test tomorrow morning. We'll get the result. We'll start traveling straight after and try and do maybe 4 or 5 hours driving, which should put us 3 or 4 hours outside Calais, maybe a bit less actually, and then we'll get our results and we've just got to hope that they're negative. I mean, no one's shown any signs of symptoms. We haven't been anywhere that populated. This is the first day out in quite a while. But the good thing is that's given us a couple of hours to just explore, just walk around Ornon, or Ornan, and it's just beautiful. It's just a lovely, lovely place. Look, it's kind of like, we said it was like a smaller version of Zurich, like a village version of it, and it's just lovely. So you should come here. And when I say come here, don't come here yet because it'll cost you a lot to get home. Yeah. So we are about to get our COVID tests.
Yeah.
We've just provided information. You need to tell them where you're staying for the next 7 days, which luckily I can remember, and bring our passports. I'm seeing people coming out with red eyes and runny noses, so, and that happens to me after every meal, so. So I just had it done, literally since.
It's literally been 20 seconds.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see, but my eyes watering, and not because it hurt, but it was just a long swab that they put into your nose and then twist it and tingle it around, and it just tickled, but was very odd, like nothing I've ever experienced. So, and I'm always sneezing anyway, I'm one of those people. Yeah? Okay, but my eye, it's basically like I'm crying now, like it's been a traumatic experience, but it was actually quite weird and quite fun.
I told Dad I thought it'd come out crying, and Dad said he basically is like, okay.
Yeah, so that was positive. Let's just hope that I haven't got anything, and that look at that, it's such an emotional time, and that we get the results back. Okay.
Mom, you came back.
Did it tickle your? What did you feel?
Bashuha.
Yeah, it looks a bit like it.
Bashuha. Well, Bashuha.
Yeah, brush your hair. You can't be out in public like this. Right, we are outside the laboratoire, and we've had a result. We got our money out. They didn't want us to pay, which I thought, from what I'd read on the internet, that people in France, French residents, a lot of the time they were having to pay and then getting reimbursed. So I thought, well, we're gonna have to pay and then not get reimbursed, which
also,
is okay.
The lady yesterday did tell us the cost of the test, didn't she? But
yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something.
So we've had our tests, and yeah, now we didn't have to pay, so that saved us €100, which is awesome. So I'm going to get myself a new guitar, and yeah, I'll play.
Love France.
And I'm learning the French national anthem. Yeah, but this is good. So we've got a few more things to do. It's still a hectic day. We've got about 2 hours. We've got to get to another town further north, get the dogs wormed, and then we have to travel about 3 hours or 2 or 3 hours further north for our stop for the night. So there's still a bit to do, but it's the first bit done. Hey.
So many dead bugs on the screen.
Right, we are a bit nervous now. We've had a really good day. We did our tests. Got to see a bit of a town for a freaking change. Socially distance. And then we've head north. We've got the dogs wormed, which was a logistical thing to find a vet's 2 hours en route so we could get going. And then we've stopped in the town of Troyes, which is spelled like Troyes. And we were told by the pharmacist that we would get our results in the evening. She said I swear she said 6 o'clock. And it is now 11 o'clock. And we still haven't, well, we've got this form back on our online kind of results thing, and it says, what does it say, Mel? Result partial. Now, obviously, because it's partial. Result Michel. So what does that mean? Does that mean that they couldn't get it? They could only get a partial result, or this is only part of the result? It's been quite a bit later now, and we're moving I can't book anything. This is the thing. I need to book the locator form. I need to book the actual travel. I need to book all that stuff. And they even your kits, they like you to book that 24 hours before you travel. Some of the companies say, but I can't. There's no point booking all that and spending all that money if we suddenly get a positive COVID test. So we don't know what to do. Basically, we just sat here with yeah, not knowing what's happening tomorrow. We're either coming home tomorrow or we're not. We still don't know. Time is running out, as Muse said so eloquently in the whatever year it was album Absolution. Good album that. So yeah, bit of a worry right now. Good news, the result is in. We've got our result. Yes, it is okay. We've got negative results. And on other news, just so you know, the Muse album Absolution was 2003. So in case that's been bothering you for those few seconds, I had to check it. Yes, so I'm going to book everything now. I'm about to spend a hideous amount of money on tests. Yeah, just loads of stuff. Now I can finally pay for everything. Yes. It's actually quite a lot to go through if you think you need a negative test. Then you need to have ordered your 2 test at home kits, your day 2 and your day 8 kits at home. Need to order them for your arrival in order for you to fill out your passenger locator form. And obviously you've got to book your travel and get there. So there's quite a bit to organise. None of it's too bad, but it's just when it's all compounded, there's quite a lot to it. And you're always thinking, well, if I pay for all these kits and do all this, but then my test ends up negative. No, my test ends up positive, then I've wasted all that money. So you're trying to leave everything to the last minute and do all this organising while you're trying to travel towards the border. It's a bit of a rigmarole, but I know that's the way it's got to be. I've got something really horrific that I want to share with you that you guys might not know about travelling back from Europe, which is quite terrifying, but just so you can see how it really is. So we are at first bit now of the tunnel, and I don't know if you can see, but there are, there's the nice queues that you get. There's only one freaking lane open, and you see these 3 things here. A lot of people think that they're there to generate electricity, but they're actually there in case anyone tests positive for COVID. They are there to shred them. They basically elevate the person really high and then let them get mangled, and that's what all this stuff is on our windscreen here. That might look like bug residue from driving, but that is actually our fallen comrades.
I like to think that it's a bit like Resident Evil.
Yeah, it's like a trap. There's some lasers that come down, so make sure if you are travelling that you have got a negative test, or you will end up on somebody's windscreen. So we made it, surprisingly. Well, maybe a lot of you know this, but when you come out the tunnel, you just go. There's no more border checks. That's weird. I swear, yeah, ferries have never done that. There's normally like another set to go through, and sometimes they do just wave you through, but I was expecting a bit more. And we've stopped at pretty much the first services along the M20, and there's some like lorry drivers that are, well, lorry chaperones almost, like sorting all these lorry drivers out, and they're bossing it. They're so good. They're like directing everyone. They're in high vis. They've got South London accents, and they're like, "All right, mate, you over here. I have you over there." And it's so good at it. They're look, this is what's happening now. It's basically synchronized lorry driving. I have assumed they're probably normally here anyway, but I reckon they're ramping it up, and I saw one of them having a go at someone, so he's obviously sorting stuff out. But yeah, it's good. So we made it through. So now we've got a 3-hour drive to our campsite. We're back in the UK. We're happy. We just got to get our tests. Should arrive tomorrow morning. Our 2 and 8 day test. Those of you that know about those.
We did one on the train.
But yes, really good experience. Thank God we've made it back. It is great. The system is good. I think the whole system overall is good, but there's a lot to organise in a short amount of time, and it costs a lot of money. And I can see why most of it is there, but I do think some of it is a bit overpriced. But yeah, I'm just so glad we made it. I know we're not home yet, but or our temporary home. So we've got 10 days quarantine now. So let's see where we go for that. But But yeah, we're super happy to be back. Getting back was a lot easier than we imagined. Also, the tests ended up being slightly cheaper. The 2 and 8 day tests that you need, they ended up only being £190 each. You can get them even cheaper than that, but everywhere was sold out. And we've done one of those tests so far, and that seems okay. We got the shuttle for the first time, which was exciting, which worked out cheaper than the ferry for a change, not normally the case, and that was a good experience. The only things that were a bit more than we anticipated were the charges for dogs on the shuttle were a little bit, they were like £20 each per dog, which was not the end of the world. And the fuel and tolls, as we said on the French roads, was you know these costs, but so I think in all it did cost less than £700 marginally. But it was good, yeah. The fact that we got the French test for free was amazing. And we're now in quarantine. So one thing which was a worry, and it was rightfully so, was where we were going to stay when we came back to the UK, and that was quite a difficult thing. A lot of the campsites we didn't call that many, called maybe 2 or 3, but because of the UK rules they couldn't be open, so it was difficult for us to find somewhere. But luckily there is a campsite called Stonehenge campsite. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's very, very cool. It's, funny enough, near Stonehenge, and they basically are still open. There's quite strict quarantine and social distancing rules, but thank God, because we're not fortunate enough to have anywhere that we could park and have the services we need, and there isn't an air system in the UK like there is in Europe. So thank God for that, because that's given us somewhere safe that we can be isolating, or quarantining should I say. But at the minute all of our tests are negative, or we're waiting for the results on our first two-day one, which we should get today, hopefully, day 4. But yes, so thank you very much. That's all I wanted to do, is give you guys an update. That's what we decided. We decided the UK. Different people would have done different things. We don't know what we're going to do next. You'll have to check our channel and see. Thank you to the new subscribers, and I hope those out there among you that are motorhome travellers aren't put off by going to Europe. We will definitely go back, whether in a motorhome, whether not, because as most of you know, we've got to give this lovely beast back soon. So we'll have to get our own. So yeah, any advice, what would you get? But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you around. Bye bye.